When a rescued pregnant golden retriever was brought into an animal shelter, new employee Macy took it upon herself to give it the care it needed. The vet had already informed Macy that the puppies didn't look normal on the ultrasound. Still, when the day of delivery finally arrived, she was utterly taken aback by the cow puppies the golden retriever gave birth to. How was this even possible? Welcome to Wonderbot Animals. Macy woke up to a loud howling coming from downstairs. She knew that it was time. Bella was about to give birth. She jumped out of bed and rushed to the bed of the rescued golden retriever. They had already been through so much together, and seeing her in this kind of pain broke Macy's heart. But now was not the time to feel sorry for Bella, as Macy needed to be focused on helping deliver the puppies. She couldn't help herself from being curious. The vet had told her these would not be normal puppies. But what the hell would they be then? The puppy. It looked like a cow. What on God's green earth had Bella just given birth to? And what is Macy supposed to do now? When their first puppy finally started crowning after 2 hours of labor, Macy could not believe her eyes. The vet had warned her, but she never expected this. It is not uncommon for a dog rescued off the streets to be pregnant when they come into the rescue station. On the streets, animals are reduced to their primary instincts of survival and procreation. However, what is uncommon is for the rescue station to be well equipped to deal with pregnant dogs. This particular station had a vet they worked with, but the vet was not on site. So when a struggling pregnant golden retriever came in, they had no idea how to handle the situation. They were already very much understaffed, and this dog obviously needed a lot of attention. Could they handle her and all of the other tasks? Working with the dog would not just be until she gave birth either, because once she finally had her litter, there would be more work to do with the puppies. Additionally, one of the senior technicians felt that something was very off about this pregnancy and needed to be figured out promptly. For now, a lot of options as to how to deal with this situation are being discussed. Some possibilities were naturally more pleasant than others. They considered bringing the dog to another station and looking for another volunteer. However, they were also considering euthanizing her. It was unfortunate to have such a sad option on the table, but it had to be considered. Given how busy the station already was and how understaffed they were, the average staff member was really leaning towards euthanization. However, the big reason why this dog got the help and attention she needed was because of a relatively new and inexperienced employee at the rescue station named Macy. Macy had always had a soft spot for animals, specifically dogs. From a young age, she knew she wanted to work with animals and always expected to be a veterinarian. She started going to school for it and everything. However, her life goals changed after an experience she had while on a relief trip to Indonesia. In America, Macy mainly had just seen happy dogs in the excellent care of their respective owners. But this was not the case in Indonesia, where malnourished and often sick dogs were abandoned and wandering the streets everywhere she went. She hadn't even been there to help the dogs, but the people. But seeing all the unhappy dogs broke Macy's heart. When Macy returned home to the States, she started researching street dogs and how to help them. To her shock, she found out how many street dogs there even were. They weren't just present in the small town she'd grown up in, but were even more prevalent in the big city nearby. From that moment on, all Macy wanted to do was help these puppies. When she turned 18, she moved to Boston and applied to a rescue center for stray dogs. She was hired almost immediately at the station because it was understaffed. Macy was still full of hope and determination. When it was still only Macy's second week, the pregnant golden retriever, which they had named Bella, came in, and they discussed what to do with her. She started to wonder if this was all worth it. What would happen to Bella and the puppies once they were born? Macy didn't have the money to care for them for much longer. She tried not to become too disillusioned. Macy did her best to put all her worries about Bella's health and money in the back of her head. What was important right now was the health of Bella and her puppies. The doctor managed to keep Bella stable with the help of some medication, but was seemingly overly interested in the ultrasound when checking on the puppies. The veterinarian could not make out much on the ultrasound, but from what he could see, he was nearly positive Bella had not been laying with another golden retriever, a Labrador, another dog, or anything close to that. The puppies looked strange. Really strange. Macy was pretty sure that wasn't possible, however. The vet ended up showing the ultrasound pictures to a couple of colleagues, but no one could really put their finger on exactly what was off about these puppies. This started to worry Macy a bit. Did that mean they were not healthy? This really had her concerned about how much money she was putting into this if it told the puppies were going to die anyway. Seeing as Bella has been a street dog, she could have been impregnated by nearly anything that can breed with dogs. What was Macy going to be dealing with when these puppies were brought into this world? Would they even be puppies? Macy was pretty sure that wasn't possible, but the vet seemed so sure these were not dogs. Macy asked if the puppies, or whatever they would be, were healthy. The vet assured her that while the ultrasound looked weird, it did give a good indication that the pups were currently healthy. This was the most important thing for Macy, and she could find comfort in that, despite everything else. After Macy brought Bella home from that vet visit, Macy knew it would only be a matter of days before Bella gave birth. Macy wisely took the days off from working at the shelter because she knew where her focus needed to be for now. Whatever the vet had seen had Macy concerned enough to know she needed to be with Bella for this. During this time, Macy really started to feel herself bond with Bella more and more. Because even though the dog was struggling, Macy could still feel how much love Bella had to give, and the desire to keep Bella increased every day. However, this also brought some difficulties along with it. Because Macy already lived in a small apartment and barely had the money to support herself, it would be a real struggle to give Bella the life she deserved. Not to mention the puppies Bella was expecting. There was no way Macy could take on that many dogs. But she loved Bella and wanted to help in whatever way she could. But what was Macy going to do with the puppies? She could reasonably make things work with just Bella, but not with puppies. Macy was hoping that she would be granted some more time to make a decision about all of this, but this was sadly not the case. The puppies were coming, and soon. That night, Bella went into labor. Macy had been hoping that when it eventually happened, that it would at least be during the daytime. But, exactly in line with all the other luck she had experienced recently, Bella went into labor at 2 in the morning. Macy's hopes were, unfortunately, in vain. Before going to bed, Macy put a baby monitor in the dog pen with Bella so she would hopefully be awoken by Bella's cries when she went into labor. She knew the time was coming soon, but she couldn't stay awake 24/7 either waiting for it. So after she placed the monitor in the dog pen, she went to bed. Macy was naturally sound asleep at the time Bella went into labor. When the baby monitor suddenly started blasting with cries next to Macy's ear, she needed a moment to realize what was going on and to know for a fact that she was awake and not dreaming or something. She'd spent too many of her last several days working on completing exhaustion. Macy quickly put on some old jogging pants and an old t-shirt and went downstairs. This could get ugly very quickly. When Macy turned on the light, she could see to her relief that Bella was still only in the early stages of giving birth. Macy would need to put the skills she learned at the shelter to the test. Bella's tongue was out of her mouth and she was breathing heavily, her whole body moving with every heave. Macy quickly went to grab some towels and a bucket of water. The whole purpose of the pen was to keep the mess contained, but that didn't mean Macy wouldn't have to work hard to keep the mess from spreading. Macy wanted to help Bella in every way she could, but also knew that this was mostly a process she had to go through alone. She stroked Bella's face and made it really clear that she was there for Bella, no matter what. After about half an hour of pushing, Macy finally started to see the first of the puppies. A wave of nervousness and excitement came over Macy. She still had no idea what kind of puppies Bella was going to give birth to exactly, as she had no idea what kind of dog Bella had mated with. However, she was about to find out, and the suspense was enough to have her on the edge of her seat. But Macy's excitement quickly turned into shock when Bella's first puppy was finally officially born. Those spots, that nose, those legs. Macy was questioning if this was even a dog. The puppy didn't look like any dog Macy had ever seen. It was looking a lot more like some sort of tiny baby cow. Macy had never seen a dog that looked anything like this. But how was this even possible? Dog genetics could get weird sometimes, but the puppies should look at least partially like Bella, as she was their mother. They should definitely look more like Bella than the cows they were currently looking like. But Macy had no time to worry about that now, as there were a lot more puppies, or whatever these animals were, that needed to be brought safely into this world. Macy cleaned off the first questionable puppy and put it into a bundle of towels so it would stay warm until it had its siblings alongside it. Bella had started pushing the next puppy out, and wouldn't you know it, it looked exactly like the first baby. And the next one did as well. Why were all the puppies looking like cows? Macy pinched herself to make sure she wasn't dreaming, but unless she was dreaming that she was dreaming, she was most certainly awake. Eventually, after the labor process of 2.5 hours, the whole little of what should be puppies had been brought into this world. It was 4:30 in the morning, and Macy was still convinced she might be seeing things. The puppies all looked equally strange, but she wasn't dreaming. This had definitely happened. Unsure exactly of what to do next, Macy decided to stay up the rest of the night to keep watch that all of the animals would survive until she could take them into the shelter later that morning. The veterinarian working at the shelter would be able to tell her more about what was going on. Well, Macy hoped he could anyway. As the night progressed into morning and the sun started to rise, Macy could not keep her eyes off of the strange-looking puppies. Was there actually something wrong with them? Or was she just seeing things? She really hoped the vet could give her some answers. She was also half expecting to wake up at any moment and find that this was just a dream. As soon as she reasonably could, Macy loaded Bella and the questionable puppies into her car and drove to the shelter. She was there even before the vet arrived. Macy just couldn't wait to finally get some clarity, even though this was technically not the most important thing in that moment. What was actually most important was that Bella and the puppies were alive and they looked healthy. The vet would first need to do a checkup for that to verify that Macy's assessment of their health was correct. When the vet arrived and Macy brought them in, the vet first raised an eyebrow before getting to work. The vet first managed to determine that Bella was doing okay. She was still very tired and a bit dehydrated despite Macy's best efforts. Mostly though, she was just tired. She was going to make it through all of this just fine, despite earlier worries. However, then there was the case of the puppies. The vet understood Macy's concern as he too thought that they looked very strange, but he had finally managed to determine what had caused this. The spots were most likely because Bella had mated with a Dalmatian with dominant genes. Dog genetics could get very weird after all. As for the strange features, the strange, almost cow-like features could be explained by the fact that the puppies were born too early. Almost a month too early, in fact. Not everything about them had been fully developed yet. But this, of course, led to more questions. Why had Bella gone into labor so early? She now had 7 underdeveloped puppies after all. The best the vet could figure is that whatever trauma Bella had experienced while on the streets had caused her to go into labor prematurely, despite all the care Macy had given her. The puppies being born early also meant that their health was at risk. The vet assured Macy that they could stay under his care at the shelter. Luckily, all the puppies managed to survive and develop into proper, healthy puppies. As soon as they were properly weaned and old enough, they were put up for adoption by the shelter. Every single puppy found a home in less than 2 weeks. They stopped looking like cows and developed into cute Dalmatian retrievers. While the puppies were obviously popular amongst families, Bella was an older dog who'd been through a lot. Macy decided to adopt Bella and give this beautiful and special dog the life she deserved. Macy still works at the shelter, and Bella often joins her from time to time, playing with and cheering up the shelter dogs.